You want to start us off since you're the one who went to the game?
Sure, I'll get this thing started. The Seahawks, despite their best efforts, emerged victorious in this game in a very sloppy, infuriating, frustrating game. But I had a bad feeling all week about this Philip Rivers thing that like it was just some fucking Disney bullshit was gonna happen and it was gonna be a lot closer than I wanted it to be, but logically, just looking at it, from an injury standpoint and I mean, this guy was on the couch last weekend standpoint. You thought we would pull away early here and make this a relatively comfortable win, but that did not happen. We weren't leading in this game at all until the fourth quarter, and then it wasn't sealed until there was 4 seconds left with the Kobe Bryant interception. So just yeah, wild, wild game, but man, I'm just glad they got the W. Honestly, that's probably the best thing I could say about this one.
Yeah, I was like annoyed, but also like I just thought it was hilarious how often we saw the happy feet Philip Rivers with his with his hands moving around like this, like right before he throws the ball. It's just so funny. And it made me realize, damn, I kind of missed watching him play.
Yeah, we were lucky to grow up with, that legendary 2004 class and then, Brady Manning, Rodgers, Wilson's prime. Like we were treated to some very very high-end quarterback play. So just the like it factor that Philip Rivers has, it definitely showed up today because this Colts team played their ass off against us and I'm honestly going to say I think they outcoached us for 3 and 3/4 of the game. The Colts defense, I mean, I honestly kind of want to give Kubiak some flack because I knew going into this that their strength was their run defense, and he just seemed utterly unwilling to give up on these hopeless run plays. Pulling up some stats here real quick for the Seattle run game. Zach
Mhm.
Charbonnet was our leading rusher with 8 carries for 31 yards, less than 4 yards a pop. Kenneth Walker, horrific game, 9 carries for 17, less than 2 yards a carry. Sam Darnold, third best, with 4 carries for 5 yards, and we had a meaningless 3 yard loss. Sweet play to Shaheed. So just the run game, it is a concern how bad it is. It doesn't seem like something that at this point in the season is gonna get fixed. But hey, again, credit to the Colts. They absolutely came to play today, and I know they were down some guys in the secondary too. But it just when it came to stopping the run, it didn't seem to matter at all.
Yeah, I do worry. It's funny you say that. Like, the run game is probably my biggest concern going down the stretch because if we become one-dimensional, you start asking Sam Darnold to win you shootouts. And not saying he can't do it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want to play that game, I guess.
I don't either. And I weirdly think that this team is missing Torrey Horton in a bad way because he was a touchdown machine for us in the limited action he's gotten this year. And a lot of those were in the red zone where I mean, today the Seahawks offense scored 6 times. And if you heard that without hearing anything else, you'd think, oh, damn, they had a good day. No, they did not. I believe they were 2 for 13 on third down. Let's see. Um, I'm not finding it quickly.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
two for
two for
13.
2 for 13. That's abysmal. It's hard to be much worse than that. And in the red zone, they didn't really get that close to scoring at all. Uh, I thought Sam Darnold overall honestly played a pretty good game. 22 of 36 for 271, no picks. Did take 1 sack where, I mean, he kind of had no hope, but I thought he did a really good job evading pressure a couple times, and it didn't always result in a completion. But there was a few times where he looked dead in the water, and he just kind of escaped and made something happen.
Hmm.
But he did also miss some throws in this game that, any one of those probably would have put this away much earlier in much more enjoyable fashion. Biggest of which I thought was the throw to Shaheed on our second to last drive.
You're talking about the
It
touchdown?
yeah, it should have been. It should have been a touchdown. He had him there, and for whatever reason, it seems like Darnold and Shaheed's connection is just not there yet. And Shaheed had a overall pretty good game, 5 catches for 74 yards, and he had a really nice kick return to set up that game-winning drive, and also got a couple catches. So he had a good game, but it just seems like in those critical red zone moments where precision is everything, they haven't been able to find a way to connect yet. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's something they can get squared away here. But I
I
thought
I do think it's getting better though. Like
I
it
think so
was
too.
nothing before last week, and it's kind of gradually picking up, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, and I think when you get a Horton out there and have all three of those guys, JSN, Shaheed, and Horton, and maybe Cooper Cup too. But the point I'm
It was
trying to make is Um, that's gonna add a whole nother like speed element to defend that I just think teams are not really having to worry about that as much right now because it's kind of like if you're taking care of JSN and Shaheed, which is a tall task, but I mean if the play doesn't develop quick enough, it seems like everyone else is just having a hard time getting open beyond AJ Barner. And one of the main things that I think made this game so sloppy is just that. Like the Seahawks offense was just kind of sloppy and lethargic today. I thought the offensive line got their fucking ass whooped the whole game, pretty much, especially in the run game. But we haven't really had a problem with drops at all this season, but I think we had at least three today. Notably, the JSN drop, seeing that in the nosebleeds in the stadium, he legit might have scored if he caught that, like in
Yeah, I was gonna
stride.
ask you where he was on the field because I remember feeling like if he catches that, that's 100% a touchdown.
It would have been a race with him and the safety, but the safety was like totally out of position. So that would have probably at least been like a 50-yard play. And then the AJ Barner big play that gets called back because he lined up offsides for no reason. You had some just really like frustrating moments in this game that were completely self-inflicted. Um, but I haven't mentioned this yet, and I think this is the number one thing to mention. Jason Myers was the fucking man today, going 6 for 6 for 250-yarders, and the 56-yarder he made to win it, that in Lumen Field, that's a long kick. Like that was a really just clutch moment there for Myers.
Was last year his bad year, or did he have a good year last year?
Um, honestly, I can't remember. It's been too
Well,
long. I
either
think he was
way,
I think he was solid last year, but I
well,
think
he
he's having a
must be
better year.
breaking his cycle of having a good year and then a terrible year and then
Yeah.
a good year and then a bad year. Because I feel like
Yeah.
he had a good year last year,
I
but
think he did. And I think this year he got off to a little bit of a shaky start because I don't know if people really remember, but he missed a kick or two against the 49ers. We ended up losing by 4 points. You know, Buccaneers game, I think he missed a field goal, and we all know what happened with that game. And then, I mean, the 61 yarder against the Rams, it's a 61 yarder. Like, you don't really expect your kicker to make those. You're just happy if they do. But the Colts kicker drilling that 60-yarder to retake the lead with 47 seconds left, that was shocking because I was standing there in the stadium just saying, why are we calling timeouts? Like, what are we doing? I don't understand this.
yeah, that
But
was confusing
but
towards
I
the
mean,
end.
yeah, but I mean that's why Mike McDonald makes a shitload of money and is a good head coach because that gamble paid off, and we ended up having 47 seconds after they made that insane kick to go down the field and win it.
Was that the same kicker that was on the Saints?
Groupie,
Yeah.
uh,
He
he
looks like he's like 12.
dude, he is tiny. I saw
Yeah.
him like during warm-ups walk past the offensive lineman and he looked like a literal child next to them. I was like, this guy's in the NFL and he can make a 60-yarder. What the fuck?
Excuse me. Yeah, speaking of which, like or seeing people in person, I'm sure it was crazy seeing Philip Rivers throwing the ball in warm-ups because on TV it just seemed like the ball was taking was reminding me of the play when Russ threw it to Luke Wilson for the
against the
two-point conversion,
Packers.
but it was like every pass looked like that. It was
No, I
crazy.
mean, I'm not trying to disrespect the guy. He's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame someday. But I think him at 44, like having watched him today, I think I can throw a football harder than him. Like legitimately, because during warmups,
Probably, yeah.
I was like, dude, there's no way they're going to score if this is all he can do. But the thing is, even with that crazy limitation he has with his arm now, like he was putting it on the money. Like pretty often in this game. And I know he only got 120 yards, but the thing about this whole game that was weird is the Colts were playing a script to basically just be like, we're going to play a time of possession control, conservative game plan, and just try to force the Seahawks to making a mistake before we do. And it's kind of it is a very conservative strategy, but it almost won them the fucking game. Like the fact that they were able to milk so much clock with these 3, 4, 5 yard plays without breaking anything open was really impressive. And Rivers did not even give us a chance to get to him. Really, beyond the play where he slipped and was hilarious, like we didn't get close to getting him much at all this game.
Well, and that's kind of what I said in the pod, or I guess I don't really remember when I said it, but I kind of thought it was going to be a him dicing us up and down the field or him leaving on a stretcher, like one of the two. And
Yeah, I
he
was just
kind of
gonna
just did the
say.
first one.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't the latter because I mean, Philip, by all accounts, seems like a decent guy, like a good human being, and it would have just been really sad if we actually like seriously hurt him at 44. Like I would not feel good about that at all.
Yeah, no. I'm glad we didn't see him getting killed out there like a lot of people thought. But I also just didn't really think he was going to get killed because he's a big guy. Like
Yeah, especially
he
right now. I think he's about 260, like at the
he looked
least.
he looked like I don't remember what quarterback that was a few years ago on the Rams, but he had like the biggest head ever. And his
Oh,
do you
I
remember
don't
that?
remember. No, I'd have to see a picture. That's
Yeah,
not ringing
I'll
a bell.
find it and send it to you. But
But
uh
yeah, I guess a couple other game notes. I thought the Seahawks run, just the Seahawks defense in general, like you look at it on paper and they had a good game. Like, I mean, they hold the Colts to 215 total yards, 3.7 yards per play, under 100 rushing, 118 passing.
Emmett Worry had a pretty good game too,
Yeah,
once
I
again.
loved his discipline of not completing the body slam that he started because I don't know if you saw that play, but we all saw him pick that guy up in the stadium and we are like, "No, don't do it." And then he kind of just was like, "Okay," and like set him back down. I was like, "Oh, great."
No, don't do it.
But
That's hilarious.
yeah, I mean, this game was just so weird because it was like the defense was doing a good job not really giving anything up, but they weren't doing anything to put the game in our hands, you know? Like
Hmm.
they kind of both sides of the ball, I was just a little puzzled at the game plan that we came up with because I thought we could have thrown the ball up and down the yard on this Colts defense with the injuries they had. And whenever we were throwing it, as long as it wasn't already 3rd and 12 or whatever, like we were moving the ball with ease. And then on the defensive side, I was like, why are we not just stacking the box every single play? Like, I I know you saw the pregame warmups. The ball will not go further than 30 yards downfield. Like it can't. So what are we doing with this what are we doing with this too high stuff?
Yeah,
But I mean it worked. So I guess they don't look stupid, but yeah, I feel like it just in summary of what we watched transpire today, like you look around the league and every single team, really besides the Seahawks, has a game where they just kind of played like shit and lost to a team that they should have beat. I mean, Bills lost to the Falcons and I believe another not great team. Um, the the Panthers, right when we think they're gonna be something this year, just lost to the fucking Saints today. And it's very, especially this year, it's extremely common for a team to get upset. And we have managed to avoid that this year, unless you count the Bucks game, which I don't know.
I
I
don't think
mean,
that was an upset. I
they
think
were
the
playing
Bucks are a good team.
hot.
They could still win their division. And also, I just noticed if we win out, this will be the second year in a row where Sam wins 14 games. That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
That is crazy because the Seahawks have literally never won 14 games in almost 50 years of existing. So clearly I mean,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
hard to
It's crazy
do.
if we just win two more games. We'll have the same record as the Super Bowl team.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up because a lot of Seahawks fans are like ready to say this team is a wild card loss team. But the thing is, if you go back to really the last two times we went to the Super Bowl, but especially the 2013 team. That year we beat the Panthers the first game of the season, I think 12-6 or 12-7.
Hmm.
We beat the Tennessee Titans, I think 13-10. And I think we beat the Rams on the road with a goal line stand against like Gus Frerotte or something, 12-9. And
Gus
also,
Frerotte.
also that Super Bowl winning legendary Legion of Boom team was down 21 nothing to the fucking Buccaneers that year, who were winless. So you gotta win ugly. Like, what team has just coasted through every game and won the Super Bowl? Never. Like the undefeated Patriots. I remember that year they almost lost to a Ravens team that I think went 4-12. Like,
I remember that game.
do you
Didn't the
remember?
Raven? Do you remember the Ravens got? Do you remember what happened? They got stopped on fourth down.
It's hard to remember. That
Or
was
no, no, no. They stopped the
18 years
Patriots
ago.
on fourth down, but they called a timeout, and then they had to redo
Oh,
the
you
play.
know what? I do remember that
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, and I remember the Ravens coach, I think it was Brian Billick or whatever,
it
who's been an
was.
analyst. He was like trying to like say like kiss your lossless team goodbye, but then
But
didn't
then
end
they
up
lost.
happening.
Yeah, that was
But all
awful.
this to say, like, when your team comes out and absolutely defecates all over themselves for 3.5 quarters, like the Seahawks did today, and they still win, I don't think you should be mad about that. I think you should just like look at the big picture. We're 11-3. We have a if we win out, we will be the number one seed, which each time the Seahawks have done that, they've gone to the Super Bowl. Like there's a lot to be excited about right now. And I'm just glad that Myers was fucking money today because this would have been really deflating had we lost this game.
Yeah, it's bizarre that we could be the one seed at 14 and 3. Just because I'm like, if we get home field advantage, I just really hope our offense can not fuck it up.
I
That would
agree
be the
because
biggest concern. I don't have like the same confidence in this team as I did with the LOB team because I at least have the confidence in our run game and Russ.
Yeah, and I mean, they had a very good run game in those years with Lynch and also Russ himself. And when I think of like a good Seahawks team that didn't have a run game, I think of the 2019 Seahawks that were throwing out 34-year-old Marshawn Lynch because we got so injured at running back. And
Hmm.
we all remember how that ended, it was another
Yeah.
divisional round
It was like a
loss.
Seahawks reboot, like transaction.
Yeah, it was like a remake of a movie 25 years later, and everyone's just phoning it in.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like the Seahawks have managed to put up good rushing yards totals in most games this year, not because they're good at it, but because they've done it a lot. And today they still try to do it a lot, and it got to a point where in the second half I was like, just stop. Like these are wasted downs handing
I
the
just
ball
don't get
off.
why it's not working.
I think the biggest part, because this has been a problem since 2022, is the line cannot. Maybe they're just being asked to do, like, maybe they just can't do a zone blocking scheme or something, but the line just cannot generate push. Like I see about 25 other teams every week be able to generate push when they try to run the ball, and we are not one of those teams. Like they just like how many times this year have you seen a play where the guards move these guys and make a huge gap and we run for 25 yards? Like what, four times?
Yeah, I just always thought, I mean, I've never played offensive line, so I don't know, but like I would have assumed running like run blocking would be easier than pass blocking because you're
It's
going
it's
forward
supposed
rather
to
than
be.
backward.
Yeah, and
But it
that's
seems
what's
like we're better at the former rather than the latter.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the conventional wisdom is that run blocking comes a little easier and a little more natural than pass blocking. But um, Sam Darnold's only been sacked 18 times in 14 games this year, which is really good. I mean, for a Seahawks team, that's like legendary stuff. But
Yeah.
the we can't run the fucking ball. So you're right. It is like the exact opposite of what you'd expect. But I don't know. I gotta be honest, as much as we've done well with not getting caught in the trap games this year, I think they got caught in the trap game this day because they looked lackadaisical and just not focused for so much of especially the first half. I think they just thought they could kind of sleepwalk through this and win like 21-10 and they were wrong. But
I'm not
they did
gonna
still win.
lie, when Philip Rivers threw that touchdown right before halftime, I was like, are we gonna lose to this fucking asshole? And
Dude, you
we
should
almost
have.
did.
It was a weird game to be in the stadium for because the absolute disgust from the Seahawks fans, like that, those are some of the loudest boos I've ever heard in my life today. Like towards the end of the first half, especially, I didn't even really want to talk about this because they're always bad. But dude, the refs were unbelievably dog shit today. I don't know if this really showed up on the broadcast, but at the end of the first half, we threw a slant route to JSN. After the play is over, the linebacker fucking tears JSN's helmet off from the face mask and punches at him, and they
I
didn't
didn't
throw
see
a.
that, no.
Yeah, I think because I didn't see social media talking about it at all, but the stadium was booing louder than I've ever fucking heard because the guy was like straight up trying to injure JSN and they didn't throw a flag. It was unbelievable. I thought there was at least two missed PEIs that were pretty obvious that weren't called, and then they called us on one that was ridiculous. It's just they were fucking terrible today, and it almost cost us.
Yeah, well, thankfully it didn't. I like kind of can't believe that it was that close, even though I thought it was gonna be. Like seeing Philip Rivers do it was something else entirely. And
Yeah.
but honestly, like it kind of makes me like look forward to watching the Colts like next week and the week after because like at least we got our game out of the way against them. Now I can kind of like actually root for Philip Rivers to like
Yeah.
win. Which I mean, if he almost beat us today on the road, I think he could maybe beat anyone
If
because well, also the him like what always like was scaring me throughout this week too was I kept on hearing about him and his high school team running the Colts offense.
It looked like it. Like he was making, dude, he was like Peyton Manning making like four audibles every play. I was like,
Yeah, I
I
was
just feel
like, how
like,
do you know how to do all of this within like 3 days?
yeah, I would be like, hey, can you just take me out of the game? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know the plays, but I think that's another thing that's kind of like started to evaporate from the league as guys like Brady, Manning, and Rivers and such have retired is that like top tier cerebral aspect of the position of just being able to like look at a defense and diagnose the weak point every time.
Hmm.
Rivers, I saw a tweet before this game that this game was a test of whether a quarterback can truly win a game with just his mind. And it almost is what happened. Like there was a few plays in the first half where he did a bunch of audibles and then he put the ball right where there was like a vacated zone from a blitz we did or something like that. And I was just like,
Hmm.
damn, like I know he can't really throw the ball very hard anymore, but if he just knows where to put it and gets it there, like this is this is hard to beat. This is kind of scary.
I like that way of looking at it too. A quarterback winning the game with just his mind.
Yeah, this is as close as you're ever gonna get to that. But next week, I believe they play the 49ers, and
They do.
that is gonna be a huge game. And the 49ers defense is very mid, much, much, much worse than ours. And I don't think they're gonna be able to stop Jonathan Taylor like we did because they haven't stopped many running backs at all this year. The Titans put up 24 on them. So if the Colts defense plays as inspired against the Niners as they did against us, and Rivers does his thing and Taylor does his thing, they could win. I mean, and then if they win that game, they're only like a win or so away from grabbing one of those wild card slots. So it's just now that our piece of the puzzle is over, it's a really cool story, and I'm definitely rooting for Rivers.
Yeah, I feel like also something that just occurred to me. The Chiefs are not going to be in the
Yeah.
postseason for the first
And
time I think it was
Mahomes,
since 2014.
yeah, 11 years. And Mahomes tore his ACL today.
He did? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I got an update on my phone when I was driving up that it was confirmed, like MRI.
Oh my
Like,
God, that sucks.
yeah, I mean, like when the sports like premier star gets hurt, it's never a good thing. But big picture wise, just the Colt or the Chiefs not being in the playoffs, I think is good for the sport because it had been too long. It had been too much.
Yeah, I wonder if Mahomes is gonna have to sit out for like half the year.
He might. I mean, I know that ACLs are not what they used to be as far as like the surgery and recovery, but it's like, I mean, direct comparison, Riley Mills tore his ACL in the college football playoffs, and he played his first game today for us. So it was
Mhm.
almost a full year recovery. Granted, he's a defensive
Oh, he
lineman.
played today? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he didn't do very well, but he was out there. I don't know, like,
Well,
because
it's his first game back off the torn ACL.
yeah, yeah, and
And it's his first game.
I
So,
don't blame him for not doing well because I don't know why he was out there against this particular team that's going to run the ball a shitload. Because the thing that I noticed is he was just getting like bulldozed back by this. I mean, let's be real. This Colts offensive line is one of the better in the league. Like they're
yeah,
damn good,
they're
and
no joke.
they are massive human beings, by the way. Like I feel like just aesthetically, this Colts line reminds me a lot of that Cowboys line from the early 2010s, and just they all look like the same 6'6", 315-pound guy, like copied and pasted 5 times.
I know they all look like they should be like working, like delivering drywall or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they're monsters, but I think Riley Mills is a pass rush guy. I don't think he's ever really supposed to be a run defender. So that's why I was like, what are we doing? Like put fucking Peely in or something. Like give me more weight. But I'm glad he got some exposure because he may end up making a play or two down the stretch here.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got next? So we have 3 games left.
Yep, we
Next week
got
is the Rams,
the biggest game of the last 10 years. Yep.
and they won
Um,
today, unfortunately. The
Yeah, but I heard Devonte Adams pulled his little hammy again, so he may be out. And then Puka got banged up, so it's doubtful that both of them are going to miss the game, but I mean they're not going to be feeling great for it. You never want to win because of injury, but I mean, I'm going to take any advantage we can get against this team because they've been a nightmare for us for a long time.
yeah. Yeah, that'll be pretty much for the whole division because if we win, we'll have the tiebreaker over them pending our Niners. and their Niners game, or have they played the Niners twice already?
So actually, we can't get a direct tiebreaker over the Rams because of common opponents, and they beat the Bucks and everyone else that we beat in common. However, we'll be a game up on them. So
So we would just need to win out.
basically, unless they lose another game. And then there's a small chance, very small chance that that Niner game to close the year out is meaningless, but it's more than likely that game is going to mean something when we get there. But the way I look at this Rams game, just not to get too into it for the preview, but I feel like it's really simple. Win and you're playing for the division, lose, just we're a wild card team. Like it's not mathematically the case if that happens, but it you have to beat the Rams to win the division.
Yeah, and
Just on principle.
The Rams after us have the Falcons, and then they have the Cardinals. So
Yeah, I don't
we
think
pretty
they're
much
gonna
need to win that game.
I don't think they're gonna give us any
Although
help.
the Falcons did look pretty good against the Bucks.
Yeah, and the thing like about people like talking about our quality of opponents and stuff. I mean, the Vikings right after we shut them out, shut out a bad team in what was it? I can't remember who they shut out, but
Hmm.
they shut out a team like 31 to nothing, and then they've been playing the Cowboys pretty tough. And the Falcons, right after we kind of whooped on them, beat the Buccaneers. So any given Sunday, man, like you can't just check these teams off most of the time. But yeah, you never know. Nobody thought the Rams were going to lose to the Panthers, and that happened. So
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I got. That was a good win, even though it was an ugly one. And on to the biggest game of the year in 4 days.
yeah, super excited for that one. I've been just fiending for another chance at this Rams team, and I think they have looked a little better than us lately. But we're in our house this time, primetime game, short week. It's everything you want for mid-December football.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that's all I got, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, catch you on the next one.